Hello, I'm Donna Bell with CVTV with People and Places You Should Know. We are at Safe Passage in Moberly. We've interviewed people from Safe Passage a lot on CVTV, but this is the first time we've actually visited the location, and it is a very welcoming and cozy place, I must say. And joining me are two lovely ladies to talk with us about a lot of things, but first and foremost to talk about teen dating violence. This month, the month of February, is Teen Dating Violence Prevention and Awareness Month, and I'm so pleased to have Debbie Martin and Melissa Eskew joining us. So let's talk a little bit first about you two. What led you to work here at Safe Passage?
I really just kind of started out as a part-time employee, just to get out of the house. I had all my kids. And then when you get in here and you see what's happening to people, it kind of gets in your blood and you just want to help.
Just want to help.
So I just kept moving up through the ranks.
And you are the
Children's coordinator.
Children's coordinator.
And well, I'm the sexual assault advocate here at Safe Passage, and being a sexual assault survivor myself, I was looking to help people in that situation. As a survivor, I did not have the help. I did not have any education on this. This happened when I was 14 years old. So I had nobody, and so I want to be here for those who don't have a voice and don't have anybody, and that's what brought me here.
Well,
and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can tell you both are very passionate about what you do. It just shows and it shines. But teen dating violence is more prevalent than people might think.
1 in 3 teens will experience some form of teen dating violence in their lifetime.
And that could be sexual, physical, emotional.
Stalking. We are seeing a lot of digital abuse.
That's something that's,
Yeah, and
we didn't have to deal with that in when we were growing up.
Whatever we did, nobody knew. Now it's out there for everybody.
Yeah, that's huge. That really is huge. You hear about that a lot. So, what is dating violence and abuse? Maybe give us a little bit of what we should be watching for.
We see a lot of emotional abuse in teens where one partner or the other, I want to make it clear that it can happen to boys and girls. We use the word she just because those numbers are bigger, but it's both. One partner wants to be completely and totally controlling. They want to separate you from your family, your friends. They get upset if you don't answer a text message in 2 seconds. Where are you at? Are you cheating on me? And this can escalate into the physical abuse, the sexual abuse. If you don't have sex with me, you don't love me. So it's just all intertwines and weaves in together.
Yeah, it's I think learning about healthy relationships is something key and something that is you'll be touching on during this month and throughout the year. You visit schools, and
we go in and do trainings in schools. We love to go to schools. We used to try to do it in February. Now we're working more with the health classes, so we just kind of go all through the school year. We just never know when their health class is going to be. So, each little surrounding area has their own time frame.
And we have a curriculum. It's called In Their Shoes, and so we'll take that out. And that is, excuse me, that's like it's like a scenario of teens in different situations, and it takes you through that scenario, and the kids, the teens, they have to choose and make choices with that scenario. So based on their choices, we'll put them to different outcomes in that, and so. And we're also wanting to work with the parents on that, just to be able to show them, hey, this is maybe what your teen is experiencing, and show them the signs, because we're going into the schools and teaching, them the schools, but we're needing to get more with the parents too, and showing the parents what.
It's a very good interactive tool. It just walks you through these different types of abuse. It has each one of these abuses, and you get a card, and it just walks you through to show you what these teenagers are going through in this day and age. Because like you said, we didn't go through this, you know.
With a lot with the digital and
Yeah.
yeah.
So, schools are contacting you, and you're willing to go to the schools
Yes,
and talk with the
definitely.
students at the
And
schools.
also churches. Also churches.
Oh yeah,
Youth
lots of youth groups,
uh-huh.
church
Yeah,
groups.
youth groups.
That's really important. So you're wanting to reach out to the parents, and so if a parent is a part of a group or an organization and they would like for you to come and talk with them, how do they get in contact with you? What do they need to do?
They just need to call 660-269-8999 and ask for Debbie or Melissa.
And you will come to their meeting
we will
and
come to
present.
them.
Ladies group.
If one
anything.
mother
I
in
mean,
town is interested and she wants us to come and talk with her and one other mother, we will do that.
Yeah.
You just want to get that message out. That's what this month
Right.
is about, but
Right.
it's actually all year long. But this month is really the push for getting the word out. So, in focusing on parents and adults seeing the signs, we have a particular parent in that you all are aware of or familiar with that is sharing her story. That we'd like to share with our viewing audience, and maybe tell us a little history about what happened, and then we can hear from the mother.
Cheryl and Jamie Bowen are the girls' father and mother. On the night of November 21st, 2015, Kelsey, the girls' names are Kelsey and Jessica, Kelsey's boyfriend broke into the house and shot both girls.
And they were having some issues, some problems before that.
Right. Their mother was noticing that, Kelsey was starting to withdraw, dressing differently. She set her daughter down. She talked to her. She did everything that was right to do. And
Even got the law involved.
yes. There was even an ex parte issued, but he snuck into the house.
So she wasn't able to be here today, but she has shared with her some of her her feelings about the.
She actually goes, when she can get away, she actually goes to the schools with us, talks to the kids. She wants this message out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she wrote a letter that a lot of times we read at the schools. And so I'm just going to read that for you today. Jessica Leanne Bowen, born November 4th, 1993, began our family. Jessica was always the child that spoke her mind, stood up for those that were picked on or bullied. As she grew, she became one of the most beautiful young women many people have ever had the privilege to know. Jessie was outgoing, smart, tenacious, and had a work ethic like no other. She was a CMT at North Village Park on the weekends, working double shifts, and absolutely loved her residents. During the week, Jessie went to Columbia Career Center full-time, accomplishing her dream of being a nurse. She would have graduated in July of 2016. Jessie's love of her life, Michael Green, and her both planned to be married and begin a family shortly after. Jessie dreamed of being a mother. Kelsey Annette Bowen, born March 29, 1999, completed our family. Kelsey was a junior at Moberly High School and was just beginning to blossom. Kels was always quiet, never cried, even at birth. Kels was reserved yet nurturing. Once Kels would get to know you and warm up to you, she was very funny and just full of future potential. Kels loved animals and babies. At times, I wasn't sure who had baby fever more, Jess for herself or Kels for Jess. Kelsey was excited to be an aunt soon. Kels loved photography, writing fantasy stories, reading, playing Sims, and just hanging out with her friends. Kelsey had not decided yet what she wanted to do when she grew up, photography or English teacher. So in the early morning of November 21st, 2015, our lives were forever changed. Both girls were taken from us in an unimaginable and incomprehensible manner. As a family, we lost our girls, the big sister and the little sister to our son, Zachary Bowen. Daddy's little girls, never to be walked down the aisle. Mama's best friends, never to pick out wedding dresses or watch them become a mother. Jessica's fiance, Michael Green, lost the love of his life, and all the plans the two had made together to build a life and a family, as well as a little sister. Friends lost a huge piece of their happiness, as the girls were known to be funny, loving, and always willing to lend a hand or just talk to comfort those around them. The world lost so much beauty and so much potential. I was always told my kids would change the world, and I am certain they still will. So she really wants that message out there.
As hard as it is for her to, share that, yes, I'm sure that getting the word out, getting the message out that it is more prevalent than people might think, and we need to look for the signs. And it's important to have this awareness month for that, but to remember that's all year round.
Yes.
You gotta,
just important to learn what those warning signs are, and that's what we're wanting to do, is to get that out there.
So if you're involved with an organization and would like some more information and have them come visit you, they have a very good presentation, and they'll be happy to share that, because it's about awareness and being knowledgeable of what to look for.
Yes.
Those signs.
Yep.
So, well, here at Safe Passage, this is just one of the many things that they do. This is a very busy place, and it's offers so much for so many people that we're going to talk a little bit more about that now, because people need to be aware of what is available, especially in time of crisis and in time of need. That's what you're here for. Those are your expertise. So let's just talk about Safe Passage.
Yeah. So we are an emergency shelter here. So we provide shelter to women and children who have been involved in a domestic violence situation. But we also provide services for non-residents that are also affected by domestic violence, but not necessarily in need of shelter.
Right. They have a safe place to go. They're not, just out there on their own.
Right.
So
we're able to provide them and our residents with like food and clothing, medical assistance. We have a lot of women and children that come in that have left abusive situations, and they've left everything. They've left medicines, they've left that kind of thing. So we've got to get them back into a doctor, get them seen, that kind of thing. We have a legal advocate who can help with ex partes, and we also go to court with our victims and stuff too, and we will sit with them through the whole court process to the very end.
And that's important, because sometimes it's really difficult to face your
yeah, when
it is.
When your abuser's right there in that room and you have no support system, that is a big thing. I think a lot of women would just not go if they
very
didn't
intimidating.
have someone that could go in there and sit with them and say, look, this is all going to be okay.
Yeah.
And so our shelter here, we actually have 12 private bedrooms that we can house women and children. 2 of those bedrooms are family rooms, so they're like a double room in case you get a large family in here. We have weekly support groups. Debbie does the children's group every week, and I do the women's support group. And it's also non-residents are also invited to those groups also. So, and case management, when we have people come in, we meet with them weekly. We talk to them all the time, but we meet weekly to make sure that they're, moving forward with their goals, which is usually housing, to get into housing.
Sometimes he has left her with a huge electric bill, and no job, and cleaned out the bank accounts, and she's just starting from scratch. So we actually help them work with the agencies to work out a deal. How is she going to pay this $1,000 electric bill? And they will usually work with them when they know the circumstances behind what they're going through.
We also work with them filling out crime victims' compensation. So if somebody is in a situation where they have hospital bills due to violence, or maybe they've lost some work time, we can help them fill out those forms. We had a lady who needed a lot of dental work done because of a violent situation, so we were able to get that, they were able to pay for all of that, which was awesome. We also have a Safe at Home program that we can help fill out. So if somebody's if they're wanting to move, but they need their address private to where it's not a public address, we're able to fill out an application and get that started for them.
We have an activities coordinator because it's traumatizing enough to leave your home, but to come in here and just sit all the time and think about that is awful. And she will provide them with outings to the library. She takes them to Walmart. Not too long ago, they went to the zoo.
Yeah.
She took the kids to the zoo. Sometimes the movies, when we have the funds, we have people that donate for that. And that keeps them from sitting there and just sitting on top of what's happening. Plug your human trafficking thing this Friday.
So yeah, we have a human trafficking training that's coming up, which actually when this is aired, I guess it probably will be over. So, but we're excited. Human trafficking is something that also is needing we need to be more aware of that. We don't think of that as happening in our own backyard, but it is. And so that's just something that we need to become more aware of. And so
that truly is something that
you don't think about.
Yeah.
Normally you just don't think about that, but that's just another area, that we're trying to just get more information out there.
Just
on
because
that.
we're not aware of it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So.
And that's some of the things we do.
Well, and you mentioned something about going to the prison.
Yes, so we're also hooked up with PREA, which is Prison, it's Prison Rape Elimination Act, and so we work with the Moberly prison here. If an incarcerated person has been victimized, has been sexually assaulted, they get with their coordinator there who gives us a call, and we can go out and speak with them and be able to talk with them a little bit about that. So that's something that's new, that's just started recently. So
it's amazing
areas.
Everything that you all do.
Yeah,
it is quite
growing.
amazing. It keeps growing.
But it's a good thing. That's a good thing. We're really, and I'm working a lot more on the campuses. I'm going to the college campuses, and we're trying to get a lot of information out there on sexual assaults. Actually started a support group over at CMU over in Fayette. This past year is our first year for that, and so we've got a support group going on over there. A young lady over there wanted to start this, and so we're working together, and so we've got that going on over at CMU. So we're really excited, just starting to get out a lot more and get information out there.
So what counties do you serve?
Okay. So we serve 9 different counties. Okay, so we serve Audrain County, Boone County, Sheraton, Howard, Lynn, Macon, Monroe, Randolph, and Shelby.
But those are not the only people that we have. We have come in here. We have
If someone's under a crisis situation.
We have had people from England, China, Ohio, Arkansas, probably all 50 states. Sometimes they have to move them as far away from their abuser as they can get them. And then that gets a little tricky because you got to get the transportation and so.
And a lot of these counties have, like Mexico, has their own shelter. And Boone County has their own shelter, but we just work together. And we call each other and stuff, and when we're trying to relocate somebody. But yeah, and we go to other counties also.
So you're available to a lot of people, and and not just in crisis situations, in information and help. So That was very good. I'm amazed at all that you can accomplish.
We also have, it's not a lot of money, but it's a small pool of money where when the women come in, we are advocates, we are not counselors. So if we have enough money, we can get them into counseling and get them what they need in that area too.
So, and recently you've had some renovations here.
Oh goodness, it's been a busy summer. We had new siding put on, new back deck. Just there's so many people to thank. I just can't even mention them all. We've had grants from several places here in Moberly, several church groups, individuals had just come out and just really worked hard to make this place look a lot more inviting for our clients. So you don't think, oh.
Yeah.
And this is a nonprofit, so
It is.
Let's talk about volunteers' needs.
Okay. We're always looking for volunteers.
Okay.
Yes,
Always,
definitely.
Yes.
And we have a website. It's safepassagemoberly.org. And if you go on there, you will see a tab under volunteers, and they can get on there and click off that packet and print it off. And they would just need to fill out the packet and get it to us. And there's a little bit of like confidentiality training and stuff like that that'll have to be done, but it's easy. You can work directly with residents, or you don't have to. You can work answering phones, or we've got clothing room, food room, stuff that always needs to be taken care of.
We're always in need of, if you don't think that you can volunteer in this kind of work, we're always in need of diapers, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies. With this many women in the building, we go through a lot of that stuff. They, like I said, they come in a lot of times with absolutely nothing. They don't even have shampoo or a comb.
Yeah. So we're always looking for volunteers, and they can just give us a call even, or they can go to that website and print off a packet, and we'd be happy to have them.
Well, very good. And so, I know that in the past you've had a wine stroll. Is that still something coming up in 2017?
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah, that wine stroll.
That's a good way to help too, financially.
It is. The wine stroll actually helps us cover our utility bill for the year, which runs around $25,000 a year. So that helps with that bill.
So something to look forward to.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's usually in August, and I believe we're still planning it this year. And it's a lot of fun. But it helps raise money for that. That's what it's for. So just look for that, and we'll have information and stuff on the website as that gets closer. They can always go to the website and see what's going on. So if we've got any trainings coming up, that'll be on the website, and then our Facebook page. We usually keep stuff on there too, letting people know what's going on. Or if we get somebody in that's in that's in a real need, we may post that on Facebook and let them know what's needed.
Not their name, just that.
Right, just what they're needing. And we've been very fortunate. Yes, we've been very fortunate. I mean, Randolph County and the surrounding counties are very generous.
Yes,
and,
they are.
They help us a lot with like Christmas. The kids here never have to worry about Christmas because we've got so many great organizations that just help us with toys and stuff like that. So a very, very giving community we have. So anyway.
People like to help, especially when they know there's a real need. People like to help. So, well, it's great to talk with you both, and you do such wonderful work here. It's great. I mean, it just you help so many people, and you're opening your doors for helping others. So that's kind of what this show is about, letting you know what's going on and what's available. And if you or someone you know is in a relationship that may not be healthy, there's people that can help.
We also talk to a lot of people about people that aren't in an abusive relationship, but they don't know how to help their friend or their, So we do a lot of talking with people like that too.
So.
And they're welcome to call here.
Yes.
Everything is confidential when they do call. Their name would never be given out.
And we are manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No,
Oh,
we don't get
yeah.
holidays.
Well, yeah.
So, we're always here if somebody needs to talk.
Well, that is great. Well, this is Safe Passage. Melissa and Debbie, thank you both very much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
And thank you for all the wonderful things that you do to help people. That's, it's, you kind of put in some tough situations sometimes. And so I can't even imagine how you'd have to deal with that on a daily basis. So,
Well, thank you.
well, you're welcome. Thank you both. And thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, they have the website. You can call them. And thank you both very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.